Palm Springs Police Chief Brian Reyes is planning to retire this summer after 27 years working for the department. I spoke with him today to reflect on his decades of service and also get his thoughts on the department's future. Chief Reyes, I have to be honest, when I first heard you were retiring, I was a little surprised because I thought he's too young to be retiring.
You know that.
Why now?
I've heard that a few times, Peter. But you know, the reality is people don't realize that I started serving others since I was 18 years old. Right out of high school, I joined the Marine Corps, and from 18, right from the Marine Corps, right into law enforcement, all the way up until now. So it's, I think, a little over 33 years straight. So, yeah, I am young, but I started young.
33 years. That's a long time. And obviously, you've seen a lot of change in your time with the police department. What are some of the highlights for you looking back on your career that stand out?
You know, I must say highlights were not always positive. One of the highlights was very early on. I started off right out of the Marine Corps. I applied as a reserve police officer. Where back in the early 90s, reserve officers were doing it for free. And I applied for Compton Police Department just to understand the process. I just wanted to understand what the hiring process was like, because this was ultimately the career I wanted to get involved in. And they hired me at 20 and a half years old. Went to the academy with a good friend of mine. We went to the academy together. We started off our careers there together. And unfortunately, about a year and a half in, you know, a traffic stop late at night on a shots fired call. And the guy got out and executed my friend and his fellow officer in Compton. And he was 23, 24 years old at the time. I had just turned 23, and it was an interesting, definitely interesting introduction to law enforcement, having lost a good friend so early on. And then fast forward, here I am towards the tail end of my career, 8 months into becoming eight months into having become the chief, having experienced 2 deaths of our officers in 2016 at the tail end. So that was very, very interesting throughout my career to having experienced those 2 very traumatic events at the front end and the back end of my career.
I have to ask, what made you decide to retire now? Was there something that just sparked that decision?
You know, again, reverting back to 33 years of overall serving others, you know, at some point you need to let someone else get on this in this seat and have some level of experience and take the department to wherever the city believes it should go.
Does the department have a replacement in mind? Do you think it's somebody who's within the department, or do you think it'll be someone from the outside coming in?
You know, that's to be determined. Obviously, we have a new city manager, and he's going to have to consult with the council members to see what approach they want to take to this. Obviously, any chief that gets in this role needs to prepare their replacement and should try to prepare the replacement from the onset. And I have 2 great captains here with enough tenure here to sit in this chair and run this organization. I've sent them to the executive courses through California Post, management courses, chief-related courses. They both attended them, so they're both ready. It's just a matter of what the city council and the city manager want to do as far as next steps for this organization.
You know, I was thinking, Chief, the last time I spoke with you, it was about all the violence that was happening in Palm Springs. Has that gotten better recently?
You know, it has tremendously. It's dwindled down. There's still a few shootings here and there, but nowhere near what we were experiencing during that time frame. It was peaked out, very violent, and that's dwindled quite a bit.
And the other thing I think we talked about was just the atmosphere in the nation. There were a lot of protests about police and police brutality. What is that like for you in the department right now? Have things gotten better with that?
Well, you know, so when you say things gotten better with this department, one thing you got to remember, we're in Palm Springs. We've always had a great relationship with our community, a very strong relationship. And it was no more evident than October 8th, 2016, and the immediate aftermath in regards to them coming forward and strengthening that relationship. So things that you see throughout the country, we don't experience it in Palm Springs, nor have we, nowhere near that level. However, it did bring to light the need for change, and we did change some things, as well as all agencies throughout California, as far as banning, the carotid restraint hold, some legislation being passed in regards to requiring de-escalation language in our policies and in our practice. So, obviously, as tragic as the George Floyd event was, and obviously, I believe today is the 1-year anniversary, it just reinforces that we need to consistently look at how we operate as a profession and adjust with the times.
Where do you see the Palm Springs Police Department heading? Is there going to be a change in philosophy when it comes to policing?
There has to be. There has to be, to some degree, always, again, assessing how you operate and changing with the times. What I would like to see is more of community involvement in how we operate and understanding how we operate as an agency. Opening up we just got a new simulator that puts you through stress situations and see how you de-escalate or you address threats, and your timing, how you talk to people, how you try to talk people down, or just a wide range of scenarios that we can open that up to the public, so the public gets an understanding of how difficult this profession is.
What's next for you?
That's hard to be, that's to be determined, because when you've been going your entire life and the path that I've gone, I know for sure I'm not going to be sitting on my hands and just floating in the pool. I will find something to do. It's yet to be determined, and I just look forward to whatever that's going to be.
All right, Chief Reyes, we appreciate your time. Great to see you. Congratulations on retirement.
Thanks, Peter.